to all Kenyan youths. But these are the same people claiming that they're standing out there for the youths and even going ahead to speak on behalf of youths in every international forums and forums that are here within the country. So we must really wake up as youths. And I would say this to all youths that we have been used for quite long by these selfish politicians. Or quite a number of times they believed that we are that group of people who are only given 50 shillings, some handouts, and then we yell around them when they come to Mashinani and all that during the political periods. But now, I think it's just God that has made us to realize that going forward, we are not going to change anything or have a changed living style if we are going to continue in this kind of uncouth behavior that we have usually been having. So, as the movement has always held its stick that we are going forward or with our heads high, that we are not going to stop at any point if it is not achieving our targets. And by the way, up to the point that we have reached today, I can see that we are remaining with likely or maybe one option like the 2027 elections, which makes me to request all people who are ready to have this change in sincerity that we must, number one, ensure that we have a voter. We go for the voter registration. We have IDs, and then we are prepared as people who are going to conduct this activity of voting process. Then number two, we must be at a position to ensure that civic education is is spearheaded or encouraged to the highest level possible in every place that you are in. In fact, if we are united as youths in this process, we are going to achieve a lot without looking and anticipating into who is doing what going into the future in regard to this civic education. Let us not sit back and watch that so and so is doing this, so and so is doing this, so and so is not doing that. The other person is doing it wrong. She or he ought to have done it this way. But instead, let us come together and support each and every youth who is doing whatever they are doing, so long as it is in the common interest of our movement. In that way, we are going to beat the government from their melancholic systems of divide and rule system that this guy has been using for quite a number of time. And he's not a new person in this game. This is one guy who has worked with all these previous leaderships. He is one guy who has been in the system for quite long and understood how to reduce the political gimmicks or reducing some political pressures whenever they arise. So we can only sabotage them by coming together, going to Mashinani, having a solid movement that we had in June. By every time that we go to a place for civic education, we're able to have attention of the majority and people come to listen to us. You know, if that would happen, especially to the our influencers who are here, the influencers who are here on media, if we can embark together in one unison, the way we did during demonstrations, then we are going to manage to ensure that the majority of our population who are not enlightened well about how important elections is are going to be educated, and then when we shall be going to for 2027, all of us will be ready and the country will be ready to listen to our voices or to listen to the theme of the reason why we need a new government. But if you don't do that,
Thank
then
you.
we might maybe possibly have a challenge with the change that we really need. Otherwise, may God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. And you just made good submission, but what we don't subscribe together is about 2027. That is what we have said. 2027 is a piped dream. And that is what William Ruto thinks, that we are his fools, that he want to direct us to go 2027. That one can never happen. We can never go election with William Ruto. William Ruto is a tyrant, and you can never remove a tyrant in a constitutional contest. That he himself is not subscribing to the constitution. So please don't be hoodwinked to believe that you can compete in 2027 with the election that is already flawed. There is no chance, there is no possible, and we are not fools, we are not gullibles. We cannot wait for that. The commentator, go ahead. The commentator. Commentator, open your mic kama unatusikia. So, hii mambo I see now, NIS wameanza kutengeneza the hashtag, pushing the hashtag about Okia Omtata and Kivutha Kibwana. These are people that they are brought now to distract us. Ati watu waanze kusema hashtag. Do you think tukimweka Okia Omtata ati na William Ruto atamwosha? William Ruto ashaiba kura tayari. These people, Okia Omtata, I believe in a constitutional cause. Okia Omtata is good in a working democracy, not in a tyrant with someone like William Ruto. So people should not buy how when you push hashtag ya Okia Omtata and Kivutha Kibwana. Those are NIS agents that they are there to divert, to bring distractions, so that you start rallying behind. Now mwanze kusema Okia Omtata, you can beg me. Don't buy those kind of bullshit. We will select the candidates that we think they are fit when you are already done with this rogue regime. One thing at a time. What we need now is movement, not a political party.
Fabish?
Yes.
How is it possible? Because we have snitches all over around. And I'm like, I kind of just see people, how, for example, will you come up on the speaker's panel and not open up your mic? Is there something fishy? So until and unless that, is clear to us, we cannot have snitches that are actually openly subscribing to the government, because we need to vet. Maybe there has to be some way of bringing up people who have same reasoning and resonate with us.
No. For now, even that should be list of our worries. If you want to come, after all, you'll even be making, you'll be building our base. No problem. But I believe most of the speakers that come here, they are supporting the cause. The commentator is having I think, issue with network. But that one should not be list of our worries. You want to come here, we will listen to you. You come with a different opinion, or you taking sides, we will call you out. We'll drop you. We'll go somewhere. So that one it should not be our worries, because we already know our path. We already choose our path. We know our direction. We are not confused. So nobody will come here and confuse us, because we already know where we want to achieve. And by God's grace, we will achieve it. We have the will, we have the zeal, we have the strength, we have the energy. So, Jeffy, that is not what.
Fabish, I think you should get to talk to somebody by the name of Elon, not Elon Musk, Elon, Elon. He has this idea of how you can send an SMS, a group SMS to everybody, especially those who are in Ushago, to talk to them about something. If it is the agricultural bill, he can target the specific farmers and you can send them an SMS. I don't know if how it is done, but I think you should talk to him. I have added him in my group because I was thinking his idea is good because you imagine wakati wa voting, you can have something you can to give the information, the right information to this specific. I do not know if he worked with the Safaricom or other things, but he knows the technology. I think you should please get to contact him, get to see if there is, ni kama hizi t-shirts zenye we usually take and we print them to certain maandamanos, and it's going to be different because hii sasa itakuwa targeting message. I think it's a good idea, but that one is according to you guys. Just put him in your contacts, try to talk to him and get the information that is needed. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think we will reach to him. Yeah, that bulk SMS, that one also can work. And then something that I want to address here. Unajua singine wa Kenya lazima tuende tu pole pole ndio tuelewane. Kwanza, I said kuwa NIS, they are pushing different agenda to distract. I'm not saying that anybody that you push that message, you are NIS. You can innocently push it as you receive it. That is one. Two, I don't have problem with Okia Omtata, and if in a fair contest, Okia Omtata remained to be my best candidate of a president. I want to put it clear. But what I'm saying here is 2027 is a sham election that we can never afford to participate. Whether we bring Okia Omtata, whether we bring Angel Gabriel, that one we cannot. So, nataka tuelewane. Si ati kwamba tukisema kwamba NIS wanapush Okia Omtata na Kivutha Kibwana ni kumaanisha kwamba we are condemning them. No, these are great Kenyans. We all agree. Kivutha Kibwana, when he was a governor, tuliona kazi yake. Okia Omtata, tumeona kazi yake. They are perfect leaders. They will make a perfect match. But what we are saying is, with this regime, tutakuwa tunajidanganya. So, mahali Okia Omtata, if he can listen, pia yeye. And another thing that we are saying is, for now, let's try in as much as possible to disassociate ourselves with these personalities kwanza. Tumekuwa huko. Juzi tu hata tujepumzika. Watu walikuwa wanaruka huko. Oh, Morara is my candidate. Morara, watu, wacha kwanza, tupigane kwanza na huyu. Tukishamalizana na huyu, it is not even a must. Okia Omtata atachukua, nani atachukua, lakini tutakuwa tumeclear the swamp. So tusianze kupelekwa na euphoria. The problem with us Kenyans, and that is why we have been always getting right, is when we start being carried by euphoria. That is how tulivuruga Kibaki 2007. Tukakuja tukavurugana sisi wenyewe, mpaka tukakuja tukajipata mahali tuko. So kwa hivyo, ile kitu ningeomba Kenyans, hata even Okia Omtata should listen to us. If indeed, awache mambo ya tamaa, if indeed he want to be our president, of which we don't have problem with him, we will give him, but let him agree kwamba we have to do something fast to remove this rogue regime before we put him there. So it should not used to divide us.
Fabish, I get what you're saying, and I think in terms of a priority, we are getting it wrong. For example, huwezi tuletea Omtata or Okia Omtata right now, because if you did that, we are talking about 2027. The nation is hurting. I don't know how many of us are patient enough to endure that suffering for that long to 2027. So for me, let us not at this moment. I know that Okia Omtata has, vocally and publicly stood with the people, engaged with the people. He stands with the people. But this is not the right time for us to project names and leaders. We have one cause, and that one cause is Ruto has to go. So we cannot talk about leaders right now, given the fact that 2027, we have around 3 years, to come to. So tukifika hapo, let's talk about Kiamtat when we get there. Not investigating or casting any aspersions about the person, but I think for the good of the movement, let's live here and now.
Yeah, correct. Because or else we'll be conflicted. When we start discussing about personalities, we'll be conflicted. So I would beg anybody that is supporting the movement, let's first desist from personalities. Hata juzi kuna watu ambao wamekuja wanasema Kalonzo yani I don't know what to comment, but surely. But I'm forced to talk this. My good friend TG Tony Gashoka, who I respect him so much, he has take sides. Kuna opportunity yeye, in as much as anapigana andani na nini, anaweza simama na Kalonzo. Now, kitu wa Kenya, because sometimes we have that something that we call selective amnesia. Kalonzo was the chairman of the NATCO when they were making NATCO report from the Azimio wing. Kimani Ichung'wah alikuwa kwingine and Kalonzo alikuwa hapa. This agreement ambao unaona isa salamu za Raila na Ruto is not start today. It was in the NATCO report. The Adani deal that Raila came the other day and sanitized it. You cannot tell me that it was not discussed in the NATCO report. If indeed Kalonzo want to come out clear and say that he support the movement, wacha atuje atukujie na the old secret ambo it was discussed in the NATCO report as it is that document. Let him table that document that is kept secret. Kama kweli Kalonzo anataka, if you want to prove to us that he have clean hands on this government, let them come out clear with that NATCO report. And then atuambie, why did he have to engage in that in that conversation wakiwa anapanga jinsi ya kufanya hii mongrel kind of government ambayo inaitwa government of national unity. He sat in that committee. They made agreement, they signed MOUs, including at the hoster and constitutional means of deputy president. It is something they discussed in the NATCO report. And then now here you are telling us, that is what a lot of things is happening. If we talk a lot of things here. So, what wawache kuona Kenyans are fools. You know? And then now, the same thing ambao unajua ilikuwa kwa NATCO report, now you are showing us atiwe sasa ndio unapigania kwa koti. You create a problem and now you want to show us that you are solving the same problem that you created. Sisi tumefungua macho. So, but we don't want to be distracted now. Here We only have one goal, one duty, one assignment. First, to remove William Ruto from power by all means necessary before 2027. That is the only clarion call that we have. We don't have another call. We are not called to start personalizing personalities. Sijui nani versus who. No. Our eyes are on the ball. William Ruto. We use all means necessary kuhakikisha kwamba tumemdistract. We need to pile pressure on him. We will pile pressure by making sure that we use all means necessary. Watoto wake, we will pile pressure to William Ruto through watoto wake. And then tukiongea inasemekana, utasikia Wakenya wengine wakisema hapana, family haina tofauti na wao. People forget, if leo America give you a travel ban that you will not travel to their country, they will ban you and your family. Someone corrects me if I'm wrong.
You're right. You're right.
If they blacklist you, they'll blacklist you and your family. We have seen that in many occasions happening. Sasa sisi kama kwa nini sasa sisi tukiblacklist William Ruto na his family inasemekana kwamba labda tumefanya makosa ama tumeincite? No, tunafanya zile vitu ambayo inafanyika. Let's continue. Request the mic. Continue sharing the space.
Fabish,
let's have discussion.
If you indulge me for a moment before I drop, I think there's a lot that is happening in this nation that many people, either because of laxity or laziness, you just come up with a decision or conclusion without interrogating the matters that are being, so we were treated to a national charade, a drama, literally, how I would actually call it. How, for example, we are glued to the TV, the television, for around 2 weeks about the impeachment of the president. You would go, okay, no one likes the deputy president. I wouldn't even support him. But I want to see a nation that is ruled by the rule of law and constitutionalism. We didn't see that in the National Assembly and the Senate. We didn't see that. And then they conducted this quote-unquote public participation, and the people were very clear, audibly clear. We want both of them to go. We don't want any of them to remain in office, because if Rigathi Gachagua is tribal, Ruto is more tribal. If he is corrupt, Ruto is more corrupt than Gachagua. So I kind of feel like when we were treated to, on Friday, it was yesterday, the deadline of submitting comments about, extension of term limits, presidential term limits. And most Kenyans came out clearly and said, no, we don't want this. We don't want this extension of term limit from 5 to 7 until website yao ikakuwa, like there was a lot of traffic on that website. So mimi nashindwa, tutabeba ujinga mpaka lini? When will we ever wake up? Because at the end of the day, we have a national position of the UDA, which is the majority party in the National Assembly. Kimani Chungwa said on his X account, akasema that is dead on arrival as a motion, So I'm like, okay, kwa nini Wakenya tunapitishwa vitu za ujinga kama hizo? Like we go there, whether physically or online, tunajaribu hapo kusema hatutaki. And then Senator Cherargei comes yesterday and tells us, mbafu zake, he tells us 80% of Kenyans have said they want the extension of the term limit from 5 to say. So, and I'm like, okay, these guys, si wajinga, they actually know what they are doing. So ni sisi tunachezewa akili, because we know in order to change the government structure, you need a referendum. Okay, that's what it is. Public participation and a referendum, those are not two synonyms, never will be. So wanajua hii ni kitu lazima iende kwa referendum. So the bigger question for me is, why the distraction? Why are we not talking about the real issues that matter to the common mwananchi? Why aren't we talking about this Adani? And people, when we talk about this Adani thing, people are flimsy with detail and information. Because when we talk about Adani, we're talking about JKIA. And when we talk about JKIA, we are talking about all airports in Kenya. And then we go there, we go about Ketraco, and we go to the Chief and Shah, 104 billion Kenya shillings. No one is talking about that. And now we have the Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation here given an immunity and a privilege. It's like seeking an asylum in Kenya. Well, by hata wakifanya makosa ama nini, no one can bring them, down. And we know all vitu zenye ziko associated na wao na JP Morgan jana na hiyo Chase Bank yake. So we need to open up our eyes and our brain. Let's see the bigger picture. Hizi vitu tunaona hapa, the impeaching of the deputy president na extension of term limit, hizo ni ujinga. They know they can't stand that constitutionally. We need to work.
Yeah, and another